Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cooking with Melissa. I'm Melissa, and guess what? We have guest chef here, Mr. Lee. Oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, excited.
Yes, we're so excited. Lee is here and he is going to be showing us his recipe for steak. And so we're super excited to have him here. And we're gonna go through some of the different recipes, well not recipes, sorry, but we're gonna go through some of the different techniques he uses so that way we can put this amazing steak on the grill today. So tell us, how long have you been doing your steak like this?
I've been doing the steak like this for about 10 years.
Okay,
yeah,
and it's absolutely delicious?
I've been told.
All right.
Yeah. But yes, so I've been a Texas resident now for almost 3 years, and so steak is very apropos. And thought we'd go through some of the basics of what we do generally on the weekend as a family and share it with all and get some feedback.
All right, well, we're super excited to have you, and we can't wait to, of course, post this. And, you know, everyone make sure to follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys, where you can get the full video of this recipe and make it at home as well. And let us know what your thoughts are as well in the comments below. All right, Lee, we're gonna get started. So tell me about everything you have here and how do we put it together? Perfect.
It's all fairly simple. So we have the meat. I'll come back to that momentarily.
Okay.
We have a Himalayan Salt Block. We'll use that for the vegetables. We just have some asparagus, some carrots, olive oil, salt, and then pepper. And that's it. It's fairly basic.
Okay.
But it's more of the preparation and just trying to make sure you cook the meat just right. And I think it generally leads to a good outcome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're really excited because we are going to have this prepared on the grill today, as well as the vegetables too, right?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So let's start with what would you like to start with, the vegetables or the steak?
Yeah, we'll start with the meat.
Okay.
Fun fact, the meat is from, always get good meat, the best you can. That definitely makes a difference. And so this is from a butcher here in San Antonio called Wyatrex. Oh, nice. And GQ magazine said it was one of the top butchers in the country. Wow. And we haven't been disappointed. We generally like to get the tomahawk steak from there.
Okay.
It's a big 4-pound steak. It's truly an endeavor to cook that. But for today, we'll do fillets. But we'll start with the meat.
Okay.
We'll tenderize the meat, we'll prepare the meat, and then we'll move on to the vegetables and be ready to go out to the grill.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so we have these 3 pieces. So talk to me about what would I need to do to get this ready?
Yep. So first we want to do is tenderize it.
Okay.
And so I use a fork. Would you like me to do it, or
sure? You can do one, and then I'm going to try the other, guys.
So it's a good way to take out your anger and just tenderize it and try to get the fork all the way through the plate.
Perfect.
And that way, as we add the oils, they absorb and it gets into the meat. And I literally go all the way around.
Okay.
And when I hit a block of fat, it's not a problem. I'll just keep working on it until it loosens up a little bit.
Nice. And the reason we want to do it is that way when it cooks all the way through, and also it takes all keeps all the moisture in? Or,
yeah,
okay.
It'll just absorb the olive oil, it'll absorb the salt, and absorb the pepper, and it generally holds the flavor all the way through the meat. And then also just loosens it up a little bit so there's just no gristle that takes 20 chews to get through. And yeah, so that's one. I'll do another one, and I'll leave the last one for you.
All right, sounds good. Well, I can't wait. I always like a good steak, especially like you said, we're in Texas. I don't know about y'all, but you know, definitely it's always on, you know, the brain, right? We go out to dinner, where do you want to go? And always like to get a nice tender steak when we do go and get that. But why go? Because now we're going to be able to make it from home, right? With this amazing recipe. So I can't wait to get this all seasoned up and on that grill.
Yeah, there was some gristle on this one, which is good. It's going to be certainly very juicy when we eat it.
All right.
And we'll work through this one.
Perfect.
All right, I'll let you do the last.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to stab like you told me. Let's just go in no specific order. It's just
if you can, a little bit harder.
Oh, all the way through, right?
Yeah, try to get to the plate and go.
All right, and then just bring it on down. Very nice. It's a little thicker spot.
Yeah, you can feel when you hit the fat. And then you're going to hit some right here. Yep, that's going to be...
Yep, all the way through though, right?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah. There it is. So now I get to go home and I'm going to tell my husband, oh, I made a steak today. And he's going to be like, show me. Because now he's going to want some too. So I'm like, yep, I got the recipe from Lee. I'm going to have to try it out. All right, getting it down to the bottom. You like my technique? This is my technique. Y'all use whatever technique you need to use.
The overhand approach is a good one.
Yeah, just getting on in there. Make sure I get all the way down through it. It's tapping that plate, so at least I know I'm making it all the way through. Make sure we get all that seasoning all the way in. Done.
Perfect.
Yes. Oh, yep, I did it all the way through. All right, perfect.
Okay. All right. So now that we have then the meat texturized, we'll just add some olive oil. And actually, I do this fairly liberally. Okay. And then it just ensures that it holds in some of the flavor. And of course, as it grills, make sure it doesn't stick.
All right, now I do see that you're using this type of brush. Now, do you have a preference with the traditional brush or the or this brush? More of a silicone brush, is that right?
Yeah, I don't really have a preference. I think we just somehow have these in the drawer because oftentimes I will baste other things on the grill, and the other bristles, the hair bristles, will burn pretty quickly. And so it just prevents that from happening. Nice. But either is fine. All right, so.
Well, I like it.
You guys do a lot of steaks?
We do. I kind of leave the grilling to my husband because I tend to take over the grill. I'll tend to just take over whatever it is that he's doing. So I always try to leave him, let him do that, because if not, I'll be there outside cooking the whole time and then coming inside and making sides. So, but he does. He really likes to do different types of meat. Of course, he always likes to do also sides outside as well. So like the jalapeno bombers, and not just, you know, from, you know, pre-bought, but he wants to get them and cut them and do all that other fun stuff. And then also likes to be a little adventurous and make different type of items on grill.
Nice.
And so, you know, I'm always down with it. It's like, let's try it out and see what's going on with it. But yes, right now that the weather is starting to get a little cooler, nice bonfire outside, the grill going, it'll be fun. So can't wait to try this at home as well.
That's great.
Yes. I'm gonna wash my hands, right? So I just touch meat. So let me wash my hands real quick, guys. And Lee, talk to us about the next step while I'm doing that.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're going to add salt and pepper as the next step. Okay. And so there's a couple different things that I like. So I like more coarse salt. And so we have some Himalayan coarse crystals that we'll use. Generally, I like the Sicilian or the Celtic sea salt. Okay. This is the fine version of that, which is not ideal, but it's all that we can get in the post-COVID environment right now. And then generally then just pepper. And you'll see as I apply it, I think most people are probably taken back as to how much I apply. And the reason for that is because one, you want it to absorb, and then two, we're gonna flip the steaks 4 times. And as we flip, things fall off. And so it just ensures that we have enough to make it all the way through the full cook. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with some of this crystal. Yeah, so we started, maybe it's a little bit more than 10 years now that we actually started really kind of getting into the grilling. So you can see they're thicker crystals, but I am not a good cook. My wife is a fantastic cook, and so she generally does the lion's shares of the meals, and so I'll try to take care of some of the weekend meals, and it'll be around, you know, on the grill generally. I don't cook that often in the kitchen itself unless it's the microwave, which is pretty simple and that's cheating. But yeah, so we kind of honed our steak approach, and then we got into some more fancier stuff like beer can chickens, making some of our own dry rubs, amongst other things. There's some good books out there that the King of Q and others that I recommend that can help people kind of get oriented to some of the basics and how to prepare and then ultimately just cook the meat pretty quickly to ensure that it gets the desired end result. Yeah,
so since you're saying, hey, you know, you kind of handle more of the grilling outside, talk to me, do you like barbecue sauce? Do you not really care for that because you're doing this, you know, seasoning? What are your takes on that, or do you make your own?
Yeah, so not make my own right now. I do like barbecue sauce on chicken or pork. Certainly either one are good. Yeah, I certainly take it anyway.
Nice. Yeah. So are you more of a vinegar type barbecue sauce or more sweet or sweet?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the Memphis, probably more of a either one. The heavy sugar, so it gets really dark brown, is sometimes a little bit too much. I prefer that mostly on chicken.
Okay.
But yeah, I really, I'll take any good barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Especially here in San Antonio.
Yes, I love a sweet barbecue sauce. I'm so bad with that, it's like candy. I'm like, let me get some of that pulled pork and just dump a whole thing of barbecue sauce on that. And it's, I don't know what it is, the sugar or something, but it's delicious. All right, so here we are.
So you can see a lot of salt on there.
Yes,
Looks
yes.
like a lot. We're not gonna go into a coma after eating this. And then similarly with the pepper, it looks like a lot, but it'll fall off as we flip these over.
Okay.
So let's see if I can get this side.
And I see that you're putting it also on around the edging too, right? So all sides are gonna be coated with the pepper. Again, like he said, to make sure that it absorbs all of those flavors on the grill. And again, like he said, a little bit more of the seasoning, because as he flips them on the grill, some of them may come off, right? Because of course, you know, it's cooking. So a little bit more than you would anticipate, just because again, you're gonna be flipping it on that surface. So.
That's right.
Very, very good.
Too concentrated.
And with all the tenderizing we did with, you know, putting that fork through the meat, it's going to help absorb all of that flavor inside. So,
all right.
Delicious.
Okay.
All right.
So those are looking good. There are other things that you can do if you wanted to. So this is just a homemade seasoning. It's got poblano pepper, red pepper, jalapeno, serrano, garlic, and onion in it.
Oh, that's your own special mix.
You can spice it up just a little bit.
Very nice.
Really is personal taste. If you want a little spicy or just more of a traditional type of approach.
Fantastic. So this is, we're good with the meat,
Yep.
right? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show it to the camera so they can see that and see kind of what it all looks like up front. Look how that looks amazing. And so as you see, he definitely made sure he got all of the seasoning all around, not just on top or on the bottom, but also on the edging, guys. So that's always very important as well. So very delicious. So I'm gonna put this right here.
Yep,
they can see
sounds
that. And what's next?
Okay, so the next is easy. So this is just asparagus, but we generally have asparagus with our steak. This is already pre-seasoned. It just has lemon pepper and a little bit of olive oil on it. So that's pretty simple. We'll put that up there for now. And then lastly is some carrots. And so for the vegetables, you can do one of a few things. So you can do it on a piece of aluminum foil. You can do it on a tray that prevents the vegetables from falling through the grill. Or in our case today, we're going to do it on a Himalayan Salt Block.
Nice. And
so just a block of salt that allows everything to absorb into the vegetable. And so we will, let's see, the easiest thing to do is probably put some of these on a plate and oil these just the same, just a touch. And then we'll put just a little bit of topsoil on these once we put this on, and that should be good to go.
And so the block will go into the grill as well?
Yeah, the block goes in the grill.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and it's actually it's reusable, so you can cook seafood on the block, which we traditionally do, so shrimp or scallops, and you just wash it just as you would a plate. And I put it in a big Ziploc bag and stick it in the closet until next time. So
very nice.
Yeah.
So some olive oil all over those veggies, and then looks good.
Yep. All right, so then we'll take these, and then we'll ultimately just put these onto the block so they line up, and that way it just gives us a little real estate to work both the carrots and the asparagus.
Nice. So we're gonna put the asparagus on the same block as well when we put it in the grill.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And then we'll stagger the timing a little bit. With the Himalayan Salt Block, aside from the absorption of the salt, it actually prevents the vegetables from charring. And so if the vegetables are closer to a direct heat, if you're not paying attention, they will potentially carbon. And so this tries to prevent that. It brings it off the heat a little bit more indirect, and provides the flavoring and prevents them from just getting burnt when you're not looking, which still may happen today, but we'll see.
Not at all. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
All right. And we'll just put some of the asparagus on. And then the other thing that we'll do, I don't know how much of this we'll get, we generally kind of stagger how this then gets put onto the grill.
Okay.
And so, as crazy as it sounds, I'll sometimes start the vegetables first, especially like the carrots. They take a little bit longer. In fact, I'll probably, since these are thicker, I'll probably actually just start the carrots. And then I'll add the asparagus maybe like 5 or 8 minutes in. And then that way the carrots will get nice and cooked. They won't come out too crunchy. We'll add some of the asparagus, and then once the asparagus is added, we'll let that cook for a little bit, and then we'll go to the steak, and then we generally do 8 minutes each side on the steak. And sometimes less depending on how they're looking, but we can call an audible and decide that.
So the thicker the vegetable on the block is going to determine kind of the timing that you put it in the grill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's same as true if they were potatoes. If they're just thicker, it's just give them a little bit more time and give them a head start over the meat, which I like it rare, and so it doesn't need much time to cook and get to that right, you know, outside. Yeah. Great.
And so speaking of that, how do you gauge how do you gauge the doneness of the steak, right? So if you're talking about medium rare, of course, like you said, it's a little bit quicker, obviously, but normally when you cook about from anywhere from the 5 to 8 minutes, are we looking at like maybe a medium well steak, or what's your thought on that?
It's 5 minutes each side, 5 to 8 minutes each side, and generally for a full time, close to 30 minutes. But we can just see how quickly it's carbonizing on the top to just determine how rare it probably is on the inside. And then there's always just the easy method of just taking a knife and just doing a slight cut into it to see how much comes out. So yeah. When I first started, I was using a temperature gauge, but just basically came down to making sure they have the right starting temperature on the grill. And then from there, just keeping it on for a certain period of time and should be okay.
It sounds like you've been doing this for a while now, so which is good. Good. So, well, this is great. So now we have our veggies prepared. We have our steak seasoned and ready to go. And next, we're going to be putting it on the grill, right?
That's right.
All right. So before we do that, so talking about family traditions, it's coming around the holidays. So is there anything that, you know, y'all do as a family to get ready for the holidays or during the holidays?
So we've been in San Antonio now for, moved here in October of 2020. And so 2.5, a little bit over 2 years. And so before we moved here, we go to Lake Tahoe for every Thanksgiving. And so we did that for almost 10 years in a row. Wow. And so we haven't done that since we've moved here, but that hasn't changed necessarily the tradition, which is us being together as a family and just enjoying ourselves.
Definitely.
And so on the weekends, that's what we do. We're together irrespective of a holiday or not. We're kind of the four of us that are doing something, going on an adventure together, just enjoying ourselves. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how we spend our time. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And again, amazing kitchen, super beautiful. And we are so excited that we got all this prepared because the next thing we're going to be doing is putting it on the grill. So very, very nice, guys. And we will be getting right back to y'all with the next steps of this cooking show. Hey guys, we're back here at the grill, ready to start putting our veggies in. So Lee, what is the process here? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So we have the grill preheated. It's right around 400 degrees now. And so we'll literally take the Himalayan Salt Block and just put it directly onto the grill. Allow the carrots to start to cook and loosen up a little bit, and then we'll add the asparagus, we'll add the meat on top of that, and then we'll flip it accordingly. We should be in a good position to have a nice lunch.
Nice. And we're putting the potatoes in earlier than the asparagus because they're thicker and they take a little longer to cook, right?
A little longer to cook. They're on the block. The block itself will take a little bit of time to heat up. You could do different ways. You could put the block on first and then put the carrots on top of that, but in our case, we're just going to do it all at once.
Nice, nice. And so with that, right, once we put it on, do we want to put that over direct heat or off this to the side? What is your preference?
Direct heat, yeah. So everything's direct heat today. Indirect heat is best for bigger items. And so if you do a tomahawk steak as an example, I spoke to that earlier, that's indirect heat. So I'll put it on indirect heat for a period of time, basically an hour, just to try to cook the meat because it's upwards of like 5 inches thick. And then once it gets to a certain state, then we'll put it on direct heat and then cook it as we cook these steaks here just in a moment.
Fantastic.
All right.
All right. Well, let's see here. And so we would just put that on.
So nothing fancy. We'll just throw this on and just put it in the corner so we have enough real estate to add the other items, and yeah, we'll let this sit, and we should be good for a few minutes.
Fantastic.
Time check, okay.
All right.
This is normally where I tell Google, pay Google 5 minutes.
There you
that
go.
sets off the little timer for us.
Use that technology. I have to put reminders for then things are going off, especially my alarm. I have like 10 alarms. My husband's like, wake up, it's time to go. Your 10th alarm has gone off. So I'm all about that, that's for sure. But Lee, before we go, tell me about what led you to your career path today as a CEO.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit of an atypical career path. And so why I say that is actually when I graduated college, I graduated with a liberal arts degree. And it's not necessarily a degree that positions you for an immediate job. I was fortunate to graduate during the dot-com boom. And so coming out of college with a liberal arts degree, my options were primarily around sales and other things. And so I started to interview with different technology companies, very interested with computers and stuff at the time. So I knew I wanted to at least go into that field. And it was actually pretty well received. And so my dad was a sales professional. And so I think even just growing up, thinking back, I was somewhat groomed by him. I had to give business cases when I wanted to get a new toy. If I wanted a toy, I'd say, I want this. Why do you want this? And my answer would be something simple like, well, John has one. Well, okay, if John has one, but why do you want one? Yeah. And then I'd have to almost give a business case for that. And I think it somewhat positioned me well for a start in sales. And so I did that for a long time. And I was an individual contributor for 10, almost 15 years. At different technology companies. From there, I graduated into sales management, was a sales manager, then a sales director, and then a sales VP, and then ultimately a chief revenue officer. And just fortunate to enjoy some success along the way. And I think in each and every case, I just wanted to try to solve bigger problems. I felt I wanted to master my craft and just be the best I possibly could be at what I was doing. And then from there, tried to take it up to a different level where I was a little bit uncomfortable or unfamiliar, and it took time. But fast forward, 22 years, and very fortunate that I was in a position where Riverside believed in me and became CEO, and here I am.
Yes, definitely. Well, we're always glad to have you, right? Yeah. Definitely, and that's an amazing journey, and it just speaks truth to some of the things that you've done and you've accomplished over your career that now you're here with us, right, at Pro-Vigil. So thank you so much for sharing that. Guys, we're going to cut because next we're going to get you the next steps on what we're going to do on the grill. All right, now it's time to put the asparagus on the salt block. So tell us, let's look at these beautiful potatoes and get it ready. Or potatoes, I'm sorry, carrots.
That's okay. I did say potatoes earlier, and that's probably what throwing you off. So the carrots have now been on for a few minutes and probably a little bit too long, but we gave them a head start because they're thick. And so now we're just going to add some of the asparagus that needs less time, but put this on itself, and it's a little bit layered, but it should be good. And so the carrots have been on for, about 7 minutes now. And so we'll let these go just a couple, and then we'll just add the steak here momentarily, and that should cook up pretty quick.
All right, fantastic.
Okay.
All right. Steak time. So tell us, Lee, how do we put this on there, and what do we do next?
Yeah, it's simple. So the asparagus has been on now a couple minutes longer than the carrots. You can see that those are steaming, so they're cooking. That's what we want. I'm not sure if that's visible on the camera, but that is what's happening. And so from here, we're literally just going to add the steaks to the other side. And so nothing special here. I do try to actually just do a couple of turns, and that way you get the fine grill marks on the steak, and try to get that quote unquote that restaurant look, if you like. So we'll put these on, and we'll give these 8 minutes on that side. So 8 minutes on each side starting now. And then we'll open it back up and we'll flip them to the other side, and one side should have a nice grill to it, nice char, and it should be good.
All right, perfect. Time for a flip. So Lee, let's see what these babies look like.
Yes, hopefully there's no grease fire. Okay, we're fortunate.
Right.
No grease fire, we're doing okay. So they've on about 8 minutes. You can see the vegetables are still steaming. Yes. We've got a little bit of, so we've got nice grill marks on this side. This is perfect. So we're just going to give these each a flip. This is a little bit of irregular cut, so that's good, but we'll make sure that that's there. And so these are off to a good start. So we've got 8 minutes in. On this one side, we'll do the same here. Another 8 minutes on the other side, and then we'll do a couple of other flips just to get grill marks.
Perfect.
And just to get us to that right internal temperature.
Fantastic. So. Hey everyone, we're coming to the end. We can smell this amazing, delicious food here on the grill. So Lisa's gonna talk us through taking everything off, what's going on, how everything looks. So let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm
sounds
excited.
Good. Okay, so we're coming to the end here, and I've already taken the asparagus off. Don't know if you can actually see, but it certainly looked like it was done, so didn't want that to overcook. And then the steaks are pretty close, and so I'll give them one last flip, and that way if there's any blood and or oil, it can kind of drip through, and that way it doesn't carry on to the plate. We can enjoy them. You home gamers, what I do is I try to crisscross then the grill marks on the steak just a little bit for the presentation, and so hopefully you'll see that when we actually take these inside. But these are good, and so I can tell they're good because there's a little bit of blood percolating off the top. I don't know if you can see that, but that's kind of what I want to see. So if I push, it doesn't come out.
Okay.
So it's there, it's holding moisture, but it's not overly rare, blue rare. And then the carrots are definitely like a little bit colored, so they're probably ready, and we should be in a pretty good spot. So I think here, I'm just gonna go ahead and just put everything on the plate.
Okay.
And then we are in a position where we can go inside and enjoy these.
All right, can't wait to taste them. They look amazing. The color is fantastic. The smell of the food is just amazing.
Let's see here, I could use another tool. Maybe. Yes, I have this, all right.
And we're getting everything off of this salt block. And so I know you had stated earlier, it's so easy to clean. You just clean it up and then y'all package it and just put it right back away. Is that right?
Honestly,
oh, okay.
yeah. Here we are in the afternoon. We still have some other stuff we need to do today, going back to the office. So I will literally probably get to this tonight. Just leave it on the grill, it'll be fine. And then just scrub it off in the sink, just as if it was a dirty plate, and put it away and enjoy it for the next time. I kind of rotate the sides, and that way it doesn't carry any flavor over. If there's flavor, this flavor will get burned off on the next cook, that type of thing. But not a science, but little tricks of the trade.
All right, guys, come and join us inside.
All right.
Hi guys, well we're back and this meal has been prepared and we are so loving it. We're about to try it, but I want to show you this amazing presentation that we have here. Look at this gorgeous steak, potatoes, and asparagus. I can't wait to taste this. Lee, this looks amazing. Oh my gosh. We're so excited that you shared your beautiful home with us, that you came and you prepared this amazing meal and shared this recipe. So we're about to cut into this steak and taste all these amazing veggies that he has here. So I'm gonna try this potato. Oh my gosh. Carrot. I keep saying carrot. Oh my gosh.
That's all right. That's all right. It'll be the running joke now.
Yes, it will be. Oh my gosh.
I'll try one as well.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh. So delicious. I will tell you, that block.
Taste the salt, right?
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. And I personally have never cooked on one of those salt blocks before. Yeah. And it has a completely different taste. Like, it's so amazing.
That's fun.
Let me try one of these little asparagus here. And I'm just gonna get in it with my hand.
Use your fingers.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, let's do it. Okay, just let me get it in my hand here. Okay, well, I'm just like gonna,
night crawler.
Yeah, I'm like, this is just going straight in. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. And now this one, because we didn't add additional seasoning because it was already seasoned in the package.
Yeah.
However, you can definitely taste the block. I mean, it's amazing how it works. And like, it's not overpowering. You can definitely taste enough of it to get, you know, that extra taste in your mouth. It's so good. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go.
All right.
It's time to cut in that steak.
Hopefully it doesn't scream.
Oh no. Let me see. Oh my gosh.
The color looks good.
The color looks amazing. Oh my gosh. I am so, look at that. It's perfect. It looks so good. It's so perfect. Okay. Oh my gosh. So good.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm. Really good. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's a little bit more cooked than I would have liked.
Well,
still good.
I'm more of like a medium,
okay.
Right? The taste is great. It's through the meat, so it's not like just a crust, right? Like, you know, you taste the seasoning on the top. I can actually taste it in the meat, which is amazing. I'm gonna cut another piece off.
Yeah. So that thinner piece cooked a little bit more. The other pieces were a little bit thicker.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is they're probably a little bit juicier, but yeah, it's a little bit more to the medium rare to medium.
Oh no, but it's still it has it has amazing texture. I mean, it tastes really good, Lee. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and of course we loaded that thing up in the beginning, right? And you can see it all falls off and or absorbs, whether it be the salt and the pepper. You can't see it as much. You can feel it a little bit when you taste it. You can feel it on the tongue, but yeah. No,
it tastes great. It melts in my mouth. It's not tough. And it's perfect. Thank you so much. It's so good. And like I said, I didn't even kind of like talk about, I'm more of like a medium kind of person, but this was perfect for me. Perfect. So I'm excited. Thank you so much. So at the end of the preparation, all we did was we flipped it 4 times, right? About 4 times. And like we had talked about earlier, the seasoning, if normally, you know, you look and you're like, oh, wait, is that a little too much? But it's okay because as you flip them, like we mentioned, the seasoning kind of comes off on the grill, right? And so you want to make sure you have enough that when it does cook all the way through, that it absorbs all of those amazing, you know, seasonings and the olive oil, which definitely makes a huge difference. Thank you so much, Lee. This is very delicious. I can't wait to finish it. But, you know, before we wrap things up, what advice do you have to our team here at Pro-Vigil in regards to, you know, getting into leadership? And what do you recommend and what are your suggestions for that?
Yeah, good question. You know, before leadership, just in general, you can make great contributions to Pro-Vigil or any organization just through core attributes. And I always call them the 3 C's, courage, commitment, and character. And so it's the courage to try something new, to go out into the unknown, and not be afraid of putting out an ask to a customer or internally to ensure that you get the desired outcome. And then it's the commitment, just to be able to work hard and ensure that you don't leave any stone unturned, and at times you have to push yourselves harder than you thought. And I think many of us have done that through the past couple of years in COVID. It's certainly been a challenging environment and we've had to navigate it together. And then it's the character, and it's just being, you know, a person of integrity, you know, a likable person, someone that can collaborate and interact and work well in a team environment. And then you know, more specifically then, as for leadership, I think it's around demonstrating problem solving. And I think those that can demonstrate problem solving generally get asked to take on more. And again, we're in a very fluid environment, even somewhat post-COVID, and the overall macro environment is questions around it. We're very fortunate that we're growing, doing very well, but still problem solving is important. And so I think those that, you know, exhibit those 3 C's and then ultimately have, you know, the ability to solve problems, irrespective of whether they're in engineering or sales or customer success or finance or HR, support, in the warehouse, shipping and receiving, it really anywhere problems need to be solved. I think those that do that generally advance pretty well, and we certainly love to have that at Pro-Vigil.
Definitely. Yeah. Amazing advice. Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for sharing your lovely home, cooking this amazing, well, lunch, dinner, it could be whatever you like it to be, right, whenever you make it. But we also will be providing this recipe on the details on this video, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Definitely make sure to stay tuned, subscribe to our channel for more Cooking with Melissa here with Pro-Vigil. Thanks, guys.
Love you, Pro-Vigil.
Bye.